throughout the nation and around the globe. From his heart to yours, it's Dear James Live, bringing you intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's Dear James and the Lady Jaclyn coming to you live with intuitive insights and human design guidance for your life questions, the weekly energies. And we are both so happy and so thrilled to be here with you guys this last Wednesday of the year. As you know, we missed last week, right, Jaclyn? We had some stuff come up and everything, and we were guided to pass on the 22nd. But this is just so exciting. So welcome everybody to same Jaclyn. Give everybody a shout out. And
hello everybody. I'm so excited to be able to join you guys today. And like James said, last week we did need a bit of a break. I had literally lost my voice. So it's quite interesting. You can't do a show with no voice, right? And then I messaged James and I was like, listen, what is your energy feels? Because I'm happy to talk less. And he said, you know what? I've also been traveling. I think we need a bit of a break. And it was perfect timing because I think we've got a lot of information already coming through. I know I had a chat to James a little bit before and he said he's got so much information. I also do. So it's going to be very, very exciting because this is the last show of 2021. And then we're going to start the new show next week in 2022. Can you even believe it? It's like, it's mind-blowing, right?
it's so exciting. When I was doing the download for today's show and everything, and I literally kept, it's 12, I was like 12/29, and I go 2022, and I'm like, no, 2021. But we're already leaping forward. The energy, the whole theme of today, the energies and this shift between. So 2022 is already, its energy, its presence, its beauty. That is probably, its beauty is already speaking. It's already calling to us, Jaclyn. And so, yes, we both needed a break, and it was, and again, it's purposeful because we were guided. I mean, I really listened, and you losing your voice and me traveling and my energies and everything. And they were really pressing like, no. And so there was something very purposeful about that. And we always talk about listen to it. It may not make sense, but listen to what you're hearing and go as guided. And this is tough for Jaclyn and I. We're both like, yeah, let's go. We're here. We want to do this thing. And so it's hard for us to not do it, right? I mean,
absolutely. I mean, literally, I always say to James, I'm jumping on the train. Are you coming with? And James is like, yes. Which platform? So I just want to say we've got Haley that says hello. We have Nikki that says hello. Guys, if you're on live with us, the only way that we can actually see that you are there or feel your energy, besides feeling your energy, we want to actually see who you are. So give us a shout out and just give us a hello in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And then also if you're watching this as a replay, tag and comment replay. Let us know as well where you're joining in from so that we can know who we're reaching and kind of, collectively hold space for each other.
Absolutely. And thank you again, everyone, for joining us live. We absolutely love that you're here. You are the heart and soul of the show. It's all about you. That's why we come and do this. It's about the beautiful bridge between Jaclyn and I from an intuitive insights perspective and a human design guidance perspective. Of course, spirit, source, symphony, the et al, and then all of you. And it's your energy, your grace, your willingness to come and share with us that makes everything come together. There's when two or more gather, here's the trifecta. And so this is wonderful. So yes, Vicky, hello. And Jennifer, hello. And yes, I hope everyone has had a beautiful holiday and everything all around the world, however you're celebrating it. And so what do you think? Let's dive in, Jaclyn.
Let's dive in. Do you wanna kick it off, or do you want me to kick it off?
What are you feeling? You call it.
I think I want to actually start with two themes, and then I want to see how it ties in with you, and then we can kind of go from there.
Let's go.
You go with that. let's just actually give a shout out. So I see Vicky is here. Hello, she's from Kansas. Haley is from England. Hello, Haley. And then we have Aya and Jennifer Stanley is from Paris. Oh my gosh, I love the fact that we're so global, guys. Hello, hello.
I know, this beautiful global community here. So we're doing it.
We're doing it. Okay, so the first two themes that really came up on my side when I was looking at human design was the pressure to make improvements. So I know with the end of the year and the new year kind of starting, and guys, just excuse the sun because I'm trying to play around with a new space here so I can see the sun's creeping in, but you know what, we'll take it as light. So the main theme that came up is that pressure and that need to make improvements at the moment. So you know, at the end of the year being kind of like the time when we set those New Year's resolutions, we set those goals. I don't know about you, but for the last 2 years, I've actually mixed things up a little bit. And I've not set those resolutions like I normally would have, or those massive goals, and kind of put more pressure on the year already. What I would normally do is just set intention. So kind of re-look at the year that I have had, notice the changes that I have made, and maybe a few changes that I still want to make going into the new year. But kind of just go into the new year with less stress to kind of put big expectations on what is possible. So with that gate 58, we can see it's bringing us that joy, that energy of joy, right? So we're actually at a crossroads in terms of human design. We're going to have the transits are going to be until about I think it's 2 days time. And then we're going to cross over again to the gate 38, right? And the 39. So at the moment, we're in that joy energy, and that energy to correct things that need to be corrected. The shadow side is that pressure to be perfect. So kind of check in with yourself. Where are you trying to perfect the way things flow? Or where are you naturally also trying to correct things? Maybe it's routines that you're looking at in your life and checking in and saying, should I maybe eat a healthier meal or healthier diet moving forward in 2022? Should I start exercising a little bit more? You know, kind of just see what's coming up for you in terms of improving your life so that you can have more joy in your life. But also notice the stress or the pressure to improve. So that stress or that pressure that comes from setting those intentions or goals, that you actually then put so much energy and emphasis on controlling the outcome of 2022. Now, it doesn't mean don't set goals and intentions if it feels good. It just means check in with yourself and see, where are you coming from a place of control, wanting to kind of like force the certainty of 2022, versus coming from a place of, what can I control right now while setting the intention, living in trust and knowing that everything is working out for me? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what you used a beautiful word, crossover, and that's going to tie into everything. This is a perfect word. What were the gates? We go from gate 58 to gate or gates.
So we go from 58 and then we move into 38.
38.
So we move into, so 38. So that is the second part actually, is that provoking energy. So it's like because it's opposite to the 39. So the 39 is in our earth. So we grounded actually in this provocation kind of energy, but it's provoking us into abundance of spirit, right? And the 38 is knowing what's worth fighting for. So if you combine the two themes, it's knowing where to put your energy into in this now moment, while setting the intention, knowing that the future will unfold the way that it's designed, with or without your control. Makes sense? Absolutely.
And this is the beauty. So here are these themes and this word crossover. And it really ties in. And hello, Pamela from Cape Town. Lovely that you're joining us. And then Deborah, I believe I'm going to put my yes. She would love a message. And I think Debbie, Jaclyn, later on, I think you already have her information from prior. So as I explained to Jaclyn, I want to talk to you about some of these themes that tie in. And of course, 2021 to 2022, it's an ending and a beginning, but really it's Jaclyn's word, crossover, this crossover. And so it's different than years past, because what the unseen has said to me for today was this beautiful word, and I'm going to bring it up on the screen. It's about revival. This is a revival. And so I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to give you some of the definitions really quickly about revival and and it says restoration to life, consciousness, vigor, strength, a bringing or coming back into use, attention, or being after a decline. It also is technically a religious term, and it says when God, source, spirit touches a community of faith. So right off the bat, there is this element. The overall theme is revival, that we are literally leaving, and you can apply this, you can see it globally, we can see it personally, where, has your life been like a tossed salad? Has this, the pandemic, this, coming back to life, back to consciousness, this restoration after a decline. And we've all experienced a global decline, a global effect that's affected us in ways that are, there was an article recently, Jaclyn, about, the number that have been pushed into poverty. This just from the pandemic, just from this global decline. And so the promise here in this crossover, in this transition, is revival, restoration, renewal, this coming back. And that's so important. And it's in the numbers, and we talk about the numbers all the time. So overall theme, revival. And then its secondary element, and I'm going to read a piece of this, but it's hexagram 40, and hexagram 40 is deliverance. It's liberation. So we can see how, it's Exodus, the book of Exodus. It's the being set free, the liberation, we're no longer enslaved. We're no longer in oppression. 2022 has this, it just ripples through me. It tingles through me you can see it on my face, this is going to be so good. And it's not just wishful, fancy. It's literal truth, because the hidden influence in hexagram 40 deliverance is after completion, renewal. So you can see we're completing something. We're truly not just ending a year, but we are completing a mega cycle. We are letting go of the past. And they're saying to me right now, we're letting go of the future, meaning the one we've all created in our heads. Doom and gloom. Oh my God, when is this going to end? Oh, for the love, will you please just deliver us? Will you bring about a newness? Because we're all in need of it. We're all like, oh, please just bring it about, please.
Yeah.
This is that piece. And so I'm going to read real quickly about deliverance. And it talks about, there's a couple of things. It says, thunder over, and this is going to be an important word coming up, thunder over the abysmal water shows a sudden storm meant to release tension. This type of natural phenomena happens when the leaves need to be removed from the trees during autumn, and again when the protective husks sheltering spring's rebirth are also removed. In either case, something is being loosened so that rebirth is liberated. Whatever is blocking your ability to move effortlessly and joyfully, you just heard Jaclyn mention the word joy, and joyfully through the world of events will be no match for the situations that unfold to help you let go. The hidden influence of after completion also underscores a need for renewal. That is this beautiful, and there's this quote that says, there is no real difficulty that requires outward movement. The outward is assured if the inward is aligned with this thought and this belief. But it's also, as Jaclyn just said too, it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. So there's this beauty of what is unseen delivers us, moves us forward, ushers us through in a way that again, we have yet to experience. And that's built into the words right now, into the numbers. And then lastly, just to encapsulate all of this, the numbers. So December, it's a 12. Today is a 29. The 29, you guys remember back on the 15th, I said to Jaclyn, did you say 29? And she was like, no. You know, it's coming through today. It's about today, 29. The 29 becomes an 11, 2 plus 9. The year is a 5. The entire thing, 12, 29, 20, 21, becomes a 19, which becomes 1 and 9 becomes a 10, and 10 becomes a 1. So right off the bat, 12 is associated with utopia. 29, hexagram 29, is about the abyss. And you can see then, and let me just go to that really quickly, and its hidden influence is 27. It's a nourishing vision. It's nurture. And we're talking about how 2022 is going to bring about this renewal, this nourishment, this nourishing vision. And it says, if you cannot change the direction of the wind, adjust your sails and let it guide you. And there's a proverb, it's an Egyptian proverb, and it says, for the benefit of the flowers, we water the thorns too. So there's this beautiful element that, you know, again, with everything, two sides of the same coin, we'll always have thorns in order to have the beauty of flowers. And yet there's a promise here, Jaclyn. There's this beautiful promise about the fact that the thorns are fading. They're receding. And the beauty of the flowers, the beauty of the revival, the renewal, the restoration is coming to the forefront. With the abyss and Venus, as you know, Venus just went, she's doing her underworld. She just went retrograde. So she's in the underworld, the abyss. And yet Jupiter just moved into Pisces, which is all about abundance. I mean, it's in one of its sign elements. So there's this beauty of the 29, the abyss, 29 becomes an 11, which is a gateway. It's a way through. 5 is about change. And this 10-1 is about new beginnings. And before the 19, and we've heard about 19 before, Jaclyn, and 19 is advance, approach, and it was the why. Out of the who, the what, and the why, advance. And the last thing they said to me, and we'll cover all of this and talk about it, and this was very funny, and I had to look it up, but they said to me, here's everything they gave me for today. And then they said, subtlety in motion. And I was like, subtlety in motion? That sounds very strange. Like what? And then I look it up, and subtlety, they say, especially of a change or distinction, so delicate or precise. And I underlined the word precise. So delicate or precise as to be difficult to analyze or describe. So what the unseen is really talking about is this change is going to be epic, profound, and yet so precise as to be difficult to analyze or describe. Meaning it may look the same and yet everything's different. And that element, and so it's to be open for this. See how, do you wake up and things are different and yet they look the same? Do you feel different and yet it looks the same? Be open, as they're saying it, be open. Be open to be open. Be open to be opened. Be open to this, because we're going to experience what we believe, right? Mm-hmm. So, and if we're open to see, those with eyes to see and ears to hear, if you see the difference, feel the difference, connect with it, you're going to, they're saying you're going to appreciate it that much faster. It may be subtlety in motion, and yet it will be profound.
Could you repeat, what did you say about the roses and the not roses, I'm going to say roses now, the thorns and the flowers? What was the quote?
It's an Egyptian proverb, and it says, for the benefit of the flowers, we water the thorns too.
I mean, hello. Like literally that hit me straight. And it actually took me to the visualization, because I have 2 beautiful like iceberg roses in front of my house. And those are kind of my plants, are these roses. And as delicate as they are so resilient. And when I'm needing to prune them, I've got to, like, you know, literally be rough. And like, I don't just cut off sometimes the heads, I actually just like pull them off. And sometimes every now and then I get clipped by a thorn. And instead of going, like flip, damn, and like, you know, cursing and reacting, I'm going, oh, okay, sorry, was it too rough for you? Do you want me? And, you know, like, I talk to my plants, because I'm a firm believer, like, in, you know, energy, like they grow better when you actually talk to them. And those are my babies. So I'm talking to them and I'm just like, oh, sorry, was that a bit rough? Like, and then I pull a little bit softer, and then I talk to them a little bit more. And you know what was so beautiful when you kind of said that? Because that's exactly it. It's like you're planting the seeds for 2022, right? And are you coming from a place of trying to control, like, so trying to kind of put everything in place by being super rigid, where maybe it doesn't feel good, versus letting things go a little bit and kind of being open to noticing the changes of, I mean, I know, like, for example, I'm going to use the analogy of my roses. When they bloom quite a bit, the roses actually change color. So they actually go from white and they add a little bit of pink. And they're always doing that, but I'm only noticing it when I'm noticing it. So it's exactly the same thing. It's exactly what you're talking about, James. It's kind of like noticing that everything is as it is. It's always been, but are you changing your perspective? Are you able to look at different opportunities? Are you willing to come from a place of power in your own flow? And it's so interesting, like you mentioned that letting go, and I literally wrote let go and surrender to what life has for you. And then because of the 58 as well, and because it's all about patterns, and there is an element of routines, and because it's the start of a new year, looking at what new routines you can bring in. So looking at maybe your day-to-day, you know, maybe life is the same, but where are you wanting to kind of maybe change the perspective of the routine that you naturally have? You know, if you're working 8 to 5, and that maybe is not going to change, but the way that you're approaching it, the perspective that you have towards it might actually change. And this is all because it's actually getting you to step in to your own flow. So it's kind of like this is a reminder over the next 2 weeks to really connect to your own flow, to connect to who you are, what you want, you know, not to fall into the trap of everyone kind of saying goal setting, setting intentions. You need to journal out, like, what does success actually look like to me in 2022? What does health look like, feel like, taste like, sound like? Does that make sense?
Yes, Jaclyn, 1 second. We had a technical, something just happened and the live broadcast stopped, and I've reinitiated it. I have no idea why it stopped. So if hopefully you're all listening and you're able to repost your questions with your information, and hopefully you're joining back on with us. We had a slight technical difficulty, and I have no idea why it happened. It just went, hey, bye, you're done. See, look at this. Look at this, Jaclyn. Ending and a crossover. So I don't know if everybody, hopefully everybody's joining back in. And we'll give them a second here. But that was very epic and interesting, because it not touching anything, it just went, okay, bye. First time it's doing it. But everything happens for a reason, as we know, right, Jaclyn?
Absolutely.
Yeah, everything's
Absolutely.
here. Wonderful. Okay, people are saying that they're still here. Maybe it was just a glitch on my end, and it kept going, and I reinitiated, and nobody was lost. So,
you know what, hey? Like, so this is the first thing that's coming up to me, because we also do have the gate 61 activated, or defined, which is all about asking why. So in this situation, like, let's look at it as a metaphor, right? So we're wanting to kind of logically understand why this happened, and look at your life. Like, you're wanting to logically understand why certain things are happening or not happening the way that you anticipate. But life is kind of reminding you that the answers will come in the moment or when you're ready. And sometimes you don't need to know the way you think you need to know. Sometimes you just need to accept, trust, surrender, and have fun. bring the joy element back, right?
Right, absolutely. And look at this, go with the flow of things. You know, you don't panic in the moment. You just look at it and say, okay, hang on a second. And you do what you need to do in the moment and you continue. And it brings it all back together. But there, you know, it's very interesting. Again, no accidents, that there's an ending, there's an interruption, there's an ending, there's a crossover, there's a transition. There's going to be a revival of the new. And there's two things I wanted to mention, Jaclyn, at the beginning when the light was shining through on you and you said, you know, we're working with the light. And my sister said this morning, and at the place that I was in Palm Springs, they had a beautiful piece of art that said, "Here comes the sun." And literally the sun was coming and it kind of blasted her in the face. And she goes, "Here comes the sun." And so she said this, and then here you are with, you know, the light being lit up and it's streaming across you. And here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, the revival. And the other thing that I find, just the synchronicity of the unseen, you just mentioned the roses. And I always do a little prayer before any reading or with a client or these gatherings and everything. And I always invoke all of the beauty of the white orchid, the white gardenia, the white magnolia, these different essences and flowers. And today it was like, and the white rose. It was very prominent, and the white rose. And as all of you listening may know, the rose is very much associated with Mother Mary, Master Jesus, Mary Magdalene, this Trinity. So the rose, so there's a very strong, here's Jaclyn using it as an example, as an analogy. And she's just talking, I think Debbie was just mentioning that lost sound. I think if everybody will just let us know that you can hear us, it's showing on our end that yes, you can hear us, but just in case. So there's this beauty of this analogy about the rose and the purity, the white rose. And that again, epic, because it's signaling the unseen. And wonderful. Thank you all for letting us know you can hear. So don't forget, we're taking your questions live. So as we're discussing, as Jaclyn and I are discussing the themes of the overall energy for this week and the ending of the year in this crossover, this revival, and the elements of not forcing things and so forth for the ending of this year, for next year, going with the flow. Submit your questions and let us know what you have. I know that Nikki had wanted a reading, and I believe Debbie had put something up. So just, again, put your questions out, and we're going to listen to and answer them from an intuitive standpoint. And maybe if you have a more specific, so you're providing your information for Jaclyn, but do you have a specific question in relation to that? Or is it just you're kind of wanting an overall, where are you in the moment type thing? And let us know.
And just don't forget that if you do want a human design, I'm going to need your date of birth, your time of birth as closest to the minute as possible, and then your place of birth, both your city and the country that you come from as well, because it obviously does affect the time zones. So I know, Debbie, you did give me half the information. I'm just looking for your time of birth, and then also your place of birth, country and city. And then Nikki, I've got your details. James, while I pull up Nikki's chart, do you pick up anything for Nikki intuitively?
Yes. So Nikki, right off the bat, I'm hearing this, you know, it's the two P's, and it has to do with patience and perseverance. So again, you're chomping at the bit for change is what they're saying. And while that is both admirable and desirable, you want to also be mindful they're saying to step gingerly, meaning, you know, they're saying two things. Step gingerly, you know, it's the statement about let sleeping dogs lie. So it's not about looking back. It's not about trying to be right or correct the past, or it's about put your full gaze forward. Align with your forward movement and mobility, and then step. So they're showing me beautiful polished gray-black stones in the water. stepping stones. You wouldn't just go boom, 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 boom through the steps, because you're most likely they're wet, they're slippery, they're polished. So you could slip and fall. But when you step gingerly, and it's consistent movement, it's a beautiful flow of movement, but it's stepping gingerly, consciously. So Nikki, they're really wanting you to be mindful of your steps, because right steps, right action. Divine time, not your time. So, and yet forward movement. Let go of the past. Stop looking backwards. I've got you turned around walking forward, and I'm like, I do that all the time in the store or something, and then I run into someone, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is what happens when people are moving one direction and looking another. Wham! You run into somebody or something, and you kind of giggle and laugh, and thankfully it's not catastrophic or anything, but that's the moral of the story here, Nikki, is to look forward, go forward. It's expansive, and let go of the past, and do it with a conscientious movement. Go ahead, Jaclyn.
I'm smiling and laughing at the same time, because you are literally picking up her energy so beautifully. So Nikki, manifesting generator, and I'm giggling because as a manifesting generator, you love to skip steps. You are the one that will want to do things quicker. Like you're the one that goes, hold on, there's a quick way to do this. Like, we're going to move from A to Z in 3 instead of like 36 steps. So the fact that James is telling you and talking about this fast-paced motion, but being consciously aware of in the moment of what steps you can skip, right? And the way you're going to know this is by trusting your gut, because your inner authority is sacral. So for you, any decision that you're designed to make, or any decision that you are needing to make, and that's going to put you on the right path, is going to come from that gut response. So it's getting out of your head, stop absorbing what everybody else thinks of you, or what everybody else is doing, or any information that's coming into your head, kind of just let it flow through you, let it pass. Trust that sacral response, trust that gut response. Get back into your body so that you can feel what the next best step is for you to take, right? For you, you notice patterns, so you notice what needs to change in order to make things like better, to improve life, right? So that's going to be natural for you. You're naturally going to be looking at life and the structure and the routines, and kind of going, where can we adjust things? Where can I change up things? How can I do things more efficiently? How can I use my resources better? You're a naturally creative individual as well, and you've got a natural sense of direction. The only thing for you now is, whenever you feel like you may be losing it, is to again reconnect with yourself. One of the things also that come up for you that I kind of feel called to mention is that if you do have melancholy, so if you have those low moments, those low cycles or those low moods where you kind of want to logically understand them, but there's no explanation, it's just a low moment. That low moment is there for you to reconnect with your creativity so that you can creatively express yourself, which means it doesn't necessarily mean that creativity, we're all creative beings, because creativity is expressed differently to each person, right? So it means that you can maybe take up art or paint, maybe you want to just dance into music, maybe you want to build a puzzle, maybe you want to go garden, maybe you want to get back into nature and just kind of get your hands dirty, maybe you want to cook something. Whatever it is, however it manifests for you, creatively expressing yourself is going to help you kind of move through those low moments, because those low moments are there to give you time, not for you to kind of get stuck in your head going, why don't I have the energy, or why don't I feel like it? It's kind of going, hold on, what do I feel like right now? And do I actually need to just take time out, set boundaries, take time out, be with myself and go, how can I creatively express myself so that life can give you that spark so that you can create and do and bring into life the new? Because that's what you're designed to do. You're designed to create something new, bring into life, like into the world something new, whatever that looks like. It could be big, it could be small, it doesn't matter. It's just new, something that nobody else has thought of or created or manifested. And with that, it's going to be cyclical, because one moment you're going to get inspired to take action. Maybe in the next moment you're going to be like, oh wait, where's my direction going? Hold on, I want to skip steps. And then that's when you really got to trust the process, trust yourself, trust your capabilities and your gut response, because that's going to lead you in the direction that you're designed to go. Okay, let us know if that resonates with you.
And it's so funny, Jaclyn, as you were saying all of that, and I love the scenery changing behind you on the screen, because there was these. Well, I love the turtle right now. I mean, but there were these images of trees and the wind blowing through palm trees and these other trees. You know, and there's a general theme here for everyone. This applies for everyone. You know, that beautiful statement of allow the winds of change to move you, to advance you, to feel liberated, unencumbered. And there's a beauty about that. And then here's the turtle at that point. And look at the longevity, the lifespan of these enormous, beautiful creatures. And the hard shell and the tender inside. You're protected. Mm-hmm. We're all protected. And yet we have our tender insides and everything. So it's really a message of go with the flow. And go with the flow in a way of this year coming up, this revival, this crossover, this releasing. Let go of the past. Let go of it. Look forward. Mm-hmm. So, Vicky, she said, I'm really struggling with my job. I feel stuck, not sure how to get the joy back. May I lead off, Jaclyn?
Please. Yeah. Well, you do that. I'm going to get Debbie's chart right as well.
So, Vicky, right away, I'm drawn to your last name. And it's, your married last name. Led, better. Led, feeling stuck. Led, weighted. And yet, better. So, this is speaking, so you've brought this in. This is your soul bringing in your name, your essence, the vibration of this. So in essence, what they're saying immediately is like, when you feel stuck, feel better. You have it naturally built in to release yourself to, this is all about fear. What they're saying to me is this is all about fear. You know where you want to go. You know what you want to do. You pretty much know how. There's some questions about how. I always say spirit, source, symphony, God, source, however you want to define it, is how. Literally, that's the ultimate how. So this comes down to the fear of believing that you can have what you want, what you truly want. It's about the fear of letting go. What happens if I let go and then it doesn't show up? Or, you're in this stuck, you're in this lead moment, and yet better is available to you. It's built in. So they're saying you can't always change the past. And there's not a need really to change the past. You change the past by, I always say, own, atone, release. So whatever it is that you're trying to change, own it and atone for it in the moment yourself. It is not depend, and this is for everyone listening, it is never dependent. You owning, atoning, and releasing something has nothing to do with someone else. You can do that all on your own. So there are aspects here, Vicky, of why you're feeling stuck, because again, it's these aspects of fear. It's these aspects of past actions, past mistakes, the past. You want a better future. You know it exists. You want it. You can see it, feel it, taste it. And yet you're afraid to reach up and grab it. You're afraid to grab the gold ring. And so whatever those things are, and because they're self, I'm going to really quickly, sorry, Jaclyn, I just want to go to this because it's the quote that came in. And if I can bring it up, let me quickly. Within yourself, deliverance must be searched for, because each man or woman makes his or her own prison. See how perfect that is? We make our own prisons. So we need to own, atone, and release them ourselves. Somebody else some other person in your life may have played a role. They're playing a role in your play, but you're not dependent on them accepting an apology or hearing you out or forgiving you or releasing you. No. You and you alone. You can say, I own what I did with so-and-so or whatever, or I own my part in this. I'm going to atone for it, and I'm going to release it. So they're saying, you have the way. You have the power. You know the way. Do what you want to do. And do it with all of your being. If you only do it with part of it, or you're doing it with, I'm scared. It's okay to be scared. Remember, fear is your friend. That's okay. That's good. As long as fear, it doesn't immobilize, but it propels you. Utilize that energy to propel you. It's exciting. It's nerve-wracking. It's fear. And yet once you get there, you're like, what did I wait so long for? Why didn't I do this months or years ago? That's what I'm getting for you, Vicki. Jaclyn.
So I'm going to elaborate on what James has said, because it is, again, like the synchronicity is absolutely fantastic. So there's two things that the first one, and the second one is the fears that James is speaking about. And with human design, we can actually identify what those fears what they actually look like to you in a practical way. But the first thing that I do want to mention, the reason you're feeling maybe stuck at the moment is because you are a manifesting generator, but you have an open, and you have an open G center. So with a completely open G center, you have this beautiful ability to express yourself in different ways depending on where you're at a point in your life, right? And with society, we've all been conditioned that we've got to fit into a mold or fit into a box or be this one thing, right? Fit into this one story. And if you don't fit into that one story, then there's a problem. And for you, you don't fit into one story. You fit into multiple stories. So the first thing that I want to invite you to ask yourself is, what feels most authentic to me right now? So how do I want to express myself in this now moment, and look at, what do I want to eat? What feels most like myself? How do I want to dress? Do I feel like wearing this? Is this me today? Ask yourself, like, is this me today? Do I want to eat this today? Like, is this something I want to read today? Are these people the people that I want to talk to today, right? Because you're going to be able to check in with yourself every single moment to see what is really the truest expression of you with that open G center. It's a gift, but it's also your wisdom. So in order to become wise, you've got to learn through it. You've got to go through the experience, right? That's the first thing. And also with that first thing is, allow yourself the flexibility to know that you're probably going to change, and it's going to be drastic changes. So maybe, for example, at the moment, the reason you're feeling a little bit stuck in your job is because the universe is kind of saying, it's time for you to move. And you're going, oh no, I don't know if I should move right now. This doesn't fit into the plan. Whose plan? Check in. Whose plan? Is it someone else's plan? Is it actually my plan? Does this actually feel like the most authentic me in this moment? If it's a no, then kind of courageously take one step forward by trusting yourself enough to know that you will know what the next best step is, right? Then the second thing is those fears. So we can see fear of not being able to cope. Again, that fear of, if I actually do have to leave, or if I do actually make a change, or if I actually go it alone, or if I actually change jobs, or if I actually stay, will I be able to cope? It's the cope of, is there going to also be that fear of failure? You know, is it going to be a failure if I decide to change and it doesn't work out? What happens if it doesn't work out? Am I going to cope, right? Can you see how it's starting to play? Fear of the past repeating itself. Maybe there's a past experience that you're replaying right now. So you're bringing the past in your present, which means you're getting stuck in the past instead of embracing the opportunities of this now moment and the possibilities of what the future holds, right? So you can already see just those three fears, what they're actually doing for you. Feeling the fear of I'm not going to be able to cope. Feeling the fear of, is this going to actually be a failure? And then also the fear of, is the past going to repeat itself? Check in with yourself and see how are those hindering you at the moment? How are they influencing your behavior? Are those maybe the fears that is keeping you stuck? Because stuck is only a frame of mind, right? You're not stuck. We're forever moving. We're forever fluid. This is exactly what James was alluding to. We're ever changing. Even if it feels like you're at the same place at the same time, or like constantly, you're actually changing, because you're never the same person a minute from now. Because a minute from now, something different happened, and therefore it created a change. So that idea of stuck is, I kind of want to again kind of say, stop telling yourself the story that you're stuck, and kind of looking at, no, I'm going through a process of change. I'm actually starting to trust myself enough to honor who am I in this now moment, so that I can then get inspired to take action, while understanding that I'm dancing with this fear of, am I going to be able to cope? What happens if it's going to be a failure? Is the past going to come and repeat itself? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a beautiful, because, replace the word stuck with lost. They're somewhat interchangeable. And there's a beautiful quote that says, you're never lost because you're always somewhere. Well, you're never stuck, right? I mean, and think of children. It was a woman taught her children this, because they, this fear of children being afraid if they're lost. And so she taught her children to say, you're never lost, you're always somewhere. Now stop and take stock of, where are you? So you're never stuck, you're always somewhere. Take stock of where you are. And that's what Jaclyn's talking about, this beauty of take stock in the now moment. Take stock. Because in that now moment, it will release the fear or the weight or something. And you might be, oh, I may not be where I want to be at this given moment, but I'm somewhere. Where am I? Oh, I'm meant to enjoy this moment, or I'm meant to focus on this at this moment, knowing that that will arrive or come, or it will present itself, as opposed to getting yourselves worked up into this. I'm stuck. I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing. All monkeys at the lake chatter. Debbie provided additional information. Oh, and one last thing, Vicki, before we move on. This is, because you can't make this stuff up, and it's so wonderful. Lead better. Her birth time, 10-10. We're talking about today as a 10 becoming a 1, but this dual, this two options, it's like the Libra, the scales, 10-10, lead better. You always have, we all do, but you specifically always have a choice. You can choose lead or better. You got 10-10. You've got everything you need to knock it out of the park. They say knock the skin off the ball. So, the way they're saying it to me is just go do it. They're like, just go do it. Stop talking about it. Just go do it. So, okay. So, Debbie, do you have Debbie's information?
Yes. So, as far as I know, Debbie just wanted an overall. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look. So, your chart, Debbie, came up. You're a generator. So, let me just quickly, because I lost this for a second. There it is. Okay, so generator. So with the first thing that comes up for me as well, and this is what the beauty of using human design is, it actually shows you not only how your energy works so that you know how to be in rhythm, in tune with life, right, and the people around you, but also how to better make decisions. And I think closing the year off and kind of starting a new year, we're really in that space where maybe there's a lot of decisions that we all need to make, right? So for you, Debbie, as a generator, your inner authority is emotional solar plexus. Now, what that looks like is generator means you've got that sacral center defined, which gives you that life force energy, right? Which then allows you to be a magnet. So you're naturally attracting to you people, places, opportunities, things, everything that you desire. It's coming towards you because of your energy. Now, we're all attracting beings. I like to kind of say generators have almost a double whammy, because we're all attracting, but generators also have that sacral center, that life force. So for you, it's really to become conscious of the energy that you have and hold in your body. Check in with yourself on a daily basis and kind of go and say, do I feel vitalized right now? Do I feel energized? Do I really want to do this? Do I feel inspired by this task that I'm thinking or needing to do? Do I want to actually socialize with these people, come New Year's, because it is also still a festive season? Do I want to be around these people? Do I want to go out? Do I want to stay in? Check in with your energy and trust that you will know what is best for you. Now, the decision, because your inner authority is emotional, For you, it's not making a decision in the now moment based off of how you feel. What happens is, because your solar plexus, your emotional solar plexus is defined, you're naturally experiencing a wave, right? So for you, you've probably experienced this, and this goes for every emotional solar plexus, like inner authority humans, is one moment, say for example, like now, you're getting an invitation, but it's Wednesday and New Year's is on a Friday, and you're getting the invitation, and on that Wednesday you're like, yes, I definitely want to do this, and then come Friday you're like, why did I even say that I wanted to do this? All I want to do is just Netflix and chill, or have a glass of wine and get in the bath, or whatever the case is, but it's not what you actually originally said yes to or committed to, right? That is not trusting your inner authority. That is making decisions in the moment based on how you feel. So for you, it's kind of going, you're going to get that gut response, that visceral response. It's going to feel like a heck yes. But what I want you to do is just kind of take a step back and go, let me give myself an hour, or let me sleep on it, and then let me check in with myself again and see, does this really still give me that kid in a candy store feeling? If not, then maybe it's not the best thing for me to do. So it's really honoring your own inner authority, the way that you're best designed to make decisions, but also communicating that to the people around you. So when your family or your friends invite you to something, kind of say to them, listen, when do you need to know by? Can I let you know on Thursday evening? Can I let you know on Friday morning? Can I let you know in an hour? And just by you doing that will give you the space to actually get clarity on what is best suited for you and what is not. Okay, so that is the first thing that really, really comes up for you is not, well, there's two things. Not only to check in with your energy to make sure that you're actually doing things that make you feel satisfied, so you don't get frustrated, so you don't release all the energy or create energy leaks, right? So check in with your energy. Does this feel satisfying? Do I want to spend time with these people? And then the way you make decisions is not necessarily in the moment, but it's just giving yourself a little bit of time to kind of recalibrate with the emotions that are naturally coming up for you, so that you can check, is this actually in alignment with who I am and where I am at the moment and my energy levels, or not? Does that make sense? Let us know.
And I'm just going to tag in a little bit there, Debbie. And it's funny because as we were, as Jaclyn was talking about being a generator, a magnet, and I was laughing because your name, and they kept giving me, you're Debbie Harris, of course, but they kept saying Debbie Harry. And Debbie Harry, this performer, she's iconic. So you can see that, she's in, she's in the public eye in a sense because of her being a performer. So this magnetism, this being seen. And so that's an element that's playing for you, or that's synchronistic with what Jaclyn was talking about. And there's also this element of, they keep saying to you, like, it's time. It's like, meaning it's time. Do what you said you were going to do on a soul level. It's in essence, what I'm getting is that you keep hiding, you keep elongating, you keep kind of putting it off, pushing it off, saying it'll happen another time, another day. It's not the right day. It's not the right time. Because in essence, it's comfortable. They're saying, it's comfortable to be me. It's comfortable to be who I am. As opposed to, and this is true for a lot of us and for everybody, we can all apply this thing of, but see, there's a next generation. I always say an incarnation within the incarnation. You're ready for the next incarnation of yourself in this incarnation. And so it's time to, put the car in drive. Debbie Harry, put the car in drive and go be seen. Stop playing it safe. Stop being comfortable. With yourself. Push yourself, or get out of your own way, would be another way to say it. Because they're saying there's gold in them there hills. So whatever it is that you're elongating, putting off, pushing off, not doing, yada, 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 there's gold in them there hills. It's something that's really great. And remember, the leprechaun, the rainbow, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's really what you truly desire. So go after it. Go for it. Don't impede yourself. So, Jaclyn, so we have.
So we've got 3
Haley's next up.
Yeah, so we have
Yes.
Haley, Lori, and Pamela, because I'm just conscious of the time as well.
Yes.
So what I'm thinking what we're going to do is maybe take one for one. So kind of go, so Haley, do you want to tap into to Haley's energy? And then guys, just while we give James just a second, I just want to kind of do a little bit of housekeeping and remind you guys. So every Wednesday we are going to be here, and we are going to be live with you guys. You can obviously catch the replay. We take your questions as well. If you want the human design, you've got to give your details, date of birth, your place of birth, and your time of birth. And then what we do is we look at the collective energy for the week. We kind of tune in, we hold space, and we kind of, riff off what's actually happening, what's coming up for all of us. And even if you don't get your questions answered, what tends to happen, because you feel called to the space, you actually get some information from somebody else's question, or maybe from the insights that we're actually also talking about as well. So just to give you kind of a intro into what we're doing here. James, do you want to go ahead and talk to Haley?
Yes. So, and I think we have three: Haley, Lori, and Pamela. So with Haley, she says, I'd love some insight from both of you, please, on my current situation and the coming week. So Haley, immediately what I heard 3 times was, whatever this is, it's like release, release, release. So this is speaking to the fact that, again, this holding on to something, or the fear of holding on, the fear of letting go, that everything, they're saying to me, everything's going to work out in the wash. Everything's going to be okay. It's about being okay, you being okay with going as guided, not necessarily as you desire. So in other words, release your way for the way. The way is the only way, the way. It's the higher way. It's the higher octave. It's the higher hand guiding you. Anything lower than that is fear, chatter, anxiety. It's all of those elements. They're saying you have a rightful claim or rightful stake in something, a rightful claim, and yet, quote unquote, but yet that doesn't make it right for you. So sometimes, even though you're right, you have to move along. You have to move forward. It doesn't mean that because you're right, you should be afforded a certain outcome. It's about, again, releasing yourself or moving yourself forward, no matter. It doesn't mean, there's so many times they're saying, so many times people will say, I'll do this, or I'm entitled to this, or, I'm going to only move or do something once I receive X. Well, that's a way. That's your way, not the way. The way says, oh, I know to move forward. Oh, I know to let go of this place, this person, this thing. I know it. And even if I'm entitled to something, the number of times I can speak from a personal experience where if I heard the Frozen theme song, Let It Go, one more time, I was going to, pull my hair out, and you can see what happened. So, so the issue was, there were many things that I had earned or were entitled to in a positive way. And yet I was guided every step of the way to let them go. Let go, let go, let go. Keep letting go. And that's really what they're saying to you here is release, release, release. So that, because you also said about in this coming week, it feels like there's a big move. It feels like there's a lot of movement here, and you're afraid to move. You're afraid to let go. You're afraid of what it's going to look like on the other side. And yet, where you are, it's like dial tone is like, it's done. It's done. So move forward, release, release, release. And they're saying, just know you're going to be deliverance. You're going to be delivered. You're going to be fine.
So So what's interesting, just to end that one, is Haley. So you're a manifester, and you have 3955 defined, as well as the definition in the gate 38. And this week we're moving, so we're shifting from the 58. Remember, that was the first part of the conversation that we had, or my part of the conversation. We're moving into that 38, 39. And because you have it defined, you'll understand what a lot of other people are experiencing or potentially experiencing around you, because they might have this experience of being provoked, right? So for you as well, you maybe have this natural ability to provoke people, and it's not because it's your intention. What you're doing is just your energy sometimes actually provokes people, but it's provoking people into connection with spirit, into connection with abundance, the truth of who they are, right? So for you, check in to see how are you being provoked, or how are you provoking the people around you, so that they can reconnect with their truth, because you're all about impact. So check in to see, where can I make the biggest impact, or where do I feel like I can actually contribute to make an impact, whether it be the people around me, my community, my family, whatever that looks like. You're a manifestor. You're here to create new energy. You're here to put fire under people's bums, right? You're the one that kind of instigates and like gets things going. So look, where can you impact, and kind of just check in to see, where are you feeling provoked, or where are you provoking? Because that's also be a clue to maybe triggers that need to come up for you, that need to heal, or what you're gifted at, to kind of see how can you actually impact people that is around you, or that are around you. Makes sense?
And Jaclyn, before we go, I'm just going to catch up on some of the comments. So Nikki on our interaction said, "Thank you so much, dear James and the Lady Jaclyn." Vicky said, "Yes, thank you both so much." She also gave 3 hearts. Debbie Harris said, "Perfect. Thanks to you. I feel more confidence. I am on it." Haley said, "Yay." Jennifer had to jump. And then Haley also said, "I completely understand that. Haha, yes to the dial tone. Thank you so much, James." And beautiful thanks. Thank you, Jaclyn. So, and thank you all. Thank you all always. So, okay, Lori is up next for you, Jaclyn.
Okay, let me just jump to Lori's chart. Okay, so Lori, manifesting generator, and it was just a general reading. Okay, so let's see quickly. So the mechanics of a manifesting generator is you're designed to skip steps, exactly like what we were speaking about a little earlier. So for you, it's not about getting stuck in the mundane. It's kind of going, how can you speed things up? How can you get things done quicker, right? How you're best designed to make decisions, especially moving into the new year, 2022, is you have that sacral center defined. So it's trusting your gut response and also trusting your intuition. You will know in the moment. It will sound like another voice maybe speaking to you, saying, listen, go left, or try this, or do that. Listen to that, honor that, feel into that, right? As you move into 2022, get out of your head and get back into your body. Reconnect with your body, so that that sacral response, so that that intuition can speak louder than your mind is trying to rationalize. Okay, because all of us are we've been conditioned to be in our heads, you know, process things, think about things, make pros and cons lists, write it down. Like, everything is very mental energy. Where we're moving into is embodying our truth, which comes from our bodies, right? Our intelligent guiding system, which is in our body. No one of us, that doesn't matter what type you're on, is designed to make decisions based on the mind. It's all about that body. So you got to reconnect with your body, which means you got to trust yourself enough to know that when you hear yourself speaking to yourself, or another voice speaking to you saying, try this, or do that, or skip that, trust it and go through the experience, because sometimes you also have to go through the experience to gain the wisdom, right? It's not just about studying the wisdom, it's about gaining the wisdom, because you are a 1-3, or experiencing the experience to gain the wisdom with that 1-3. Okay, so it's really allowing yourself in the moment to trust your energy, to know which direction is best suited for you, but it's also, again, getting back into yourself, like reconnecting with your own truth, and that's going to then get you on the right path and in the right direction for 2022.
And I'm just going to add in, for you, Lori. This was very interesting. I was looking, and I'm looking at your date of birth, 11/22, and both, 11 prime numbers, 11 the most intuitive, 22 the most powerful. And then your year of birth becomes a 10. And today is the 10 that becomes a 1. And so you are literally having, so this is really what hit me is this, you're having your own revival. And if you look at the birth date that you're celebrating, that will be celebrating this coming year, that you'll be celebrating, it's a milestone. It's a revival. It's a renewal. It's this whole like coming, a restoration to life, to consciousness, to vigor, to strength, a beginning or bringing or coming into use again, vitality. So this is, the way this is coming through is you can be both hard on yourself and others. And it's about releasing all of that, because they're saying to me, who do you want to be now? Who are you now? Here's this renewal. Here's this revitalization. And so really utilize your strength, as Jaclyn was just talking about. Utilize your inner strength, your inner wisdom, your inner guides, your inner truth to renew, to soften. Because, we always talk about this, Jaclyn, they're saying like to soften, to surrender is to be the most empowered. We fear surrender. We feel soft. We fear soft. No, soft isn't safe. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Not for me. I'll skip that dish on the buffet. Don't like it. Don't want it. And again, your own innateness, your own intuitiveness, 11/22, your own empowerment is so strong. You don't need to be that way externally. You can come and be the belle of the ball, the soft, beautiful, flowing. And they're like, yeah. And she's like, oh yeah, that's a sucker. They, like they've got sucker written all over that. And yet that's not the case. It's fine that that somebody might think that, or you think that they think that. That's okay. But that doesn't mean that you need to be walled up, guns ready, looking across the thing like, I'm ready. I got you. I'm going to mow you down. You don't have to do that. You don't have to live that, because you are. I am. You are. You have all of it. It's really powerful for you. So this is a revival, renewal, deliverance moment for you, should you choose that. Just wanted to add that in. So Jaclyn, last but not least, Pamela.
So Pamela wants to know would love a reading regarding next year. Should I study and start a new venture next year? So Pamela, with your chart, remember you're a splenic projector. So in order for you to best make this decision is to trust your intuition. Now that intuition, like what we've mentioned, is a soft, in the moment, one-time sign or sound or smell or taste. Whatever your intuition feels like, sounds like, whatever experience you have with your intuition, it's going to be soft, especially if you're in your head. So in order for you to really connect with your intuition, to make this decision, because you already know, like your inner self already knows the answer, right? It's almost like you just wanting to look for permission. So I'm going to invite you to reconnect with your intuition by quieting the mind, to get out of your mind, right? And reconnect with your body, right? To actually allow for that in the moment knowing what the next best step looks like. So if you need to study or not, because you already do know the answer to that. Then, and that's the way that you're best designed to make decisions, is following and trusting your intuition. I do want to point out though, remember your fear is highlighted in the gate 48, which is all about inadequacy. So not feeling like you know enough, right? And the gate 18 and the gate 32, which is the fear of failure and the fear of, well, it's the fear of authority, but it's literally giving your power away, because again, you think you aren't adequate, you don't know enough, like you need to be perfect, right? So again, check in with yourself and see, is this hesitation coming from your inner knowing, your intuition guiding you, telling you, maybe you shouldn't study because you do know enough, and it's not about the degree that's going to get you to get the success. It's actually about the, something else. So it's about the journey. It's about the process, right? Sometimes we've been conditioned to believe we need a piece of paper in order to have the success. And when we get the piece of paper, we go, oh, actually, that didn't guarantee my success. Or it's showing you, actually, hold on, the studying will actually benefit me because it's going to enhance what I already know and standing in that worth. So I want to invite you just to while you get out of your head and you start feeling into your body, ask yourself questions like, do I want to study because this inspires me, because I want to know more, because I want to connect with the people that I get to connect with while I study, because I want to maybe travel to the place, which means be in the environment which feels good at that time. Maybe I want to master, something different or something new. Or is it coming from a place of, oh, wait, I feel the pressure because I feel like I don't know enough. I'm not standing in my worth. I feel like I'm going to be a failure if I don't have, maybe a degree or a title behind something, and then I'll start the business. So can you see the two different directions you can take it? So it's not going to give you a definitive answer, because remember, you already know the answer. What it's going to remind you, human design is going to remind you, is that you're supposed to trust your intuition, because that's how you're mechanically designed, and also check in with those fears. How were they influencing your behavior? The influencing behavior, pressure to study or pressure not to study. Okay, so kind of for the next couple of days, play around, sit with those questions, journal them out, feel them. Don't try and think it, because that again is going to get you into your head and it's going to quiet the intuition. The more you get out of your head and back into your body, the louder your intuition is going to become. And then it's almost going to be instantaneous. You're not even going to question it. You're actually going to notice, oh, mind, you're trying to keep me safe. No, thank you. I'm listening to my intuition, even though it doesn't sound rational. Does that make sense? Let us know in the comments. And then James, do you want to jump in?
Yes. So Pam, just to tag on with Jaclyn, and it's funny because, so you're a Virgo, and I love your last name, Bossinger. So you're both a boss, they say like a boss, and a messenger. So there's something about this. So Virgo is ruled by Mercury, the messenger. You're a Bossinger. Bring it like a boss, act like a boss, knowing that you're meant to bring forward, you're meant to share, you're meant to educate, articulate, define. And so you're talking about study, you're talking about starting a new venture. 9 is 18, which is a 9. So you have, and then your ending, your year is a 19. And 19, hexagram 19 is advance, approach. So what they're saying to you is, which is what Jaclyn was saying, is it's funny for Virgos, we're, messengers. Virgos are analytical. It's even though we're Earth, we have that analytical kind of air mentality of discerning things and looking at things. And I very much concur. You don't always have to have the piece of paper or the degree or the certificate or whatever to be who you innately are. There's a spirit, source, symphony, God, and so forth at all. We come in whole and complete. And if we operate in that lane, the other things, the credentials, the initials after our name, all that good stuff, those things are extra. They are kind of man-made, but what's innate is what is innate. So invite yourself, as Jaclyn was saying, invite yourself to look at, do I absolutely need these things in order to advance? 19, advance. Or am I telling myself I need them in order to, quote unquote, in order to be? If you don't really need them, advance anyway. Advance. Go forth and conquer. Act like a boss. Be the messenger that you are. It's all built in. And Thereby, you have what you have. You need you have what you need, and thereby. And if you say, yeah, oh, okay, I can do this in two, I can dual track this. I can go act like a boss and get this going and do what I'm meant to do and do this in addition to or simultaneously. You don't have to wait to do it in order to do. There are ways to do this. That's what they're saying. There's ways to do this that doesn't elongate, they're saying to me, that doesn't elongate your suffering. You're ready to move forward? Move forward. There's more than one way to accomplish this. And Jaclyn hit it on the nail on the head when she was saying, you don't always have to have the certificate, the degree, the this, that, or the other. Yes, some professions, yes, okay. But there are other ways to accomplish things when you just step into your natural grace, your natural God-given abilities, and then you move through them and you execute with them. So that's what was coming through for you, Pamela.
Let us know how that resonates, Pamela. And then just to end off, James, do you want to maybe do a quick, I want to say snippet, because it is the last show of 2021. Do you want to do a quick take on what you are feeling as we step into next week, which is literally 2022? Like one little tidbit takeaway.
The interesting thing, and I'm thrilled that Pamela was last but not least. Her last name is just making me smile, and it really epitomizes the tidbit, the takeaway. This bossenger energy, this act like a boss, be the messenger. We're all messengers. I mean, this is the thing. Go out and shine your light. So the word is excitement, Jaclyn. I'm excited. That revs me up and gets me excited. This show gets me excited because it's literally about, let's come into our boss nature. Let's be the messengers, meaning let's deliver what our souls came here to do. Let's shine that light, live in that lane. And OMG, 2022 is just, it's that Alicia Keys, This Girl Is on Fire. It's that song coming in like this year is going to be This Girl Is on Fire. And there's something about that with the divine feminine and the whole thing of, for all of us, the divine feminine in the masculine, the divine feminine in the feminine. It's just going to be this girl is on fire is the theme of 2022.
I love that. I love that. So my last takeaway as we walk into 2022 is to connect to your own rhythm and routine and flow. So kind of connect with your own flow, with your own patterns, with your own rhythm, what you feel and know and trust will work for you, while making decisions the way you're designed to make decisions, and surrendering and letting go to the idea of controlling the outcome in anticipation of the surprise and the possibilities that await for us in 2022. So it's I almost feel like I want to tell everybody to go put on, what is it, Alicia Keys song? No?
What is it?
Is it Alicia Keys?
Yes, Alicia Keys. This Girl Is on Fire is Alicia Keys, yes.
Yeah. I literally think we all need to go and play that song. That's like our ending song.
This is our anthem. It's our beginning. It's our beginning, Jaclyn. It's going to be our 2022. We're like this, whatever. Thank you, 2021. Okay, thanks. Oh, 2022? This Girl Is on Fire.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh my gosh. This was absolutely fantastic as always, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for all of you that stayed to the end. We love and appreciate you so very much. We will see you in the new year. I'm like, I can't believe I'm even saying that. I will see you in a new year.
Absolutely. So thank you all again. And please spread the word, share the love, bring more people, tag people in, please, for our inaugural show in January, this coming next Wednesday. Just really spread the love. And thank you again all so much for being with us and sharing with us in this beautiful exchange and everything. We are humbled and grateful and excited. Here we go. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
You've been listening to Dear James Live. Gain intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions and so much more by tuning in next week and visiting DearJames.com.